So, just how much more money can the railroads make by squeezing extra penalties out of their customers?
This is Railroad Showcase. The word demurrage comes from the French word demurrer, which means to stay or linger, originating in...
Before we get any farther, you're saying demurrage, but I've heard it pronounced demurrage. So which is right?
Demurrage.
Well, but, okay, you say that, but the people in the industry are the ones who get to choose, right? When they say it, and I've heard it said demurrage a lot.
The dictionary definition of pronunciation, maybe not the definition, but the way the dictionary says to pronounce it, and also based off of the way that the original French word that it is based off is pronounced, it is demurrage.
Demurrage.
So it originated in vessel chartering, which the term came to mean a type of charge from the ship owner to the shipper or the charterer. Essentially, if a person chartering the vessel took too long to get from one step to another, such as unloading and returning the vessel, the owner could charge them demurrage. This term is well established in railroading, going back over 100 years. According to Forbes, only 30% of the rail cars we see going down the tracks are owned by the railroads, meaning the other 70% are either owned or leased by shippers who use the railroads. Commonly, demurrage is introduced when shippers take too long to load or unload a car at a facility, using up time and trackage. In principle, this practice is good, encouraging quick, efficient use of resources and keeping things moving, which benefits not just the railroads, but the other shippers too. Recently, however, many customers of nearly all Class 1 railroads in North America have been complaining about how demurrage has been practiced in recent years.
In May, the STB, the Surface Transportation Board, had a hearing on the subject, requiring a representative from all Class 1 railroads and inviting anyone interested in submitting a report to do so. STB Chairman Ann Beegman, in her opening comments, talked about hearing of new, modified, and increased charges, stating that these charges have become increasingly significant and in some instances have curtailed or even foreclosed business opportunities. The STB agrees that demurrage and accessory charges can be useful, but after many reports of grievances, they question its current implementation.
One railroad, which in 2013 charged $50 a day for congestion, now charges $200, all while reducing the turn time for the cars from 48 to 24 hours. This means that if a shipper with a 72-hour turn rate brought in a 100-car train, instead of paying $5,000 for 1 day of demurrage, they now pay $40,000 for 2. The railroads defend these charges, saying it's both good for the railroads and shippers, citing the aforementioned principle behind it, to keep things moving efficiently. The thing is, it doesn't seem to be helping. Shippers claim that it does nothing to ease the congestion, nor improve shipping time. In fact, they feel that there are times when it actually hinders time and wastes resources, specifically the shippers. Many shippers have also had to bear the personal expense of hiring auditors for the sole purpose of investigating these charges, because so often they have been over or wrongly charged. Other companies have had to build or expand rail yards to avoid these fines, and some smaller companies face a crisis from being unable to handle the demurrage. Yet, when asked about why the Class 1s don't charge each other demurrage, despite the transfer of cars from one railroad to another being one of the biggest bottlenecks in shipping, they didn't want to talk about it.
Some people claim that this is just a cash grab, but the railroads are quick to cite that income from demurrage only makes up 1 to 3% of their annual earnings. just adding this to the list of accommodations for the benefits of precision scheduled railroading. And while it's true that these fines don't make up even a large portion of the railroad's annual income, it's not chump change they're pulling in with these fines. CSX generated a total of $365.7 million in demurrage and accessorial revenue. Norfolk Southern came in at $335 million. And with the exception of Kansas City Southern, the rest of the railroads all came in well over $200 million each, totaling over $1.2 billion in fees for the railroads.
So where's the line? While the STB hasn't yet decided to do anything one way or another, they did question why all these fees and charges are necessary, and why they couldn't operate more like they did in the past, or as others, like Kansas City Southern, are currently doing. Whether it's going to change anytime soon is unlikely, but even if stockholders are happy with the numbers coming in, eventually, practices like this could severely impact these railroads. The railroads might be the best or only option for some shippers, which leaves them in a corner. But extended periods of dissatisfaction are historically harmful to the long-term future of companies.
All right, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We are here in this space 3 times a week, and it won't cost you anything if you enjoyed it to please hit like, leave a comment, subscribe. It helps us out a lot.
And remember, we have the full extended episodes over on our website, rrshowcase.com, where you can see more content just like this for as little as $2.49. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching.
See you next time.